and today is the special episode for the Doll Circle. We're going to try something new. We're not going to be reviewing anything, but we're going to be calling it Doll Chat or Doll Chatting. Just depends how we feel at that moment. And we're going to just pick random topics that we feel are important to us and share them with you guys. So, Robin, I will let you take the floor away. And I guess let's go right into it. What's our topic for today?
So, we thought we'd talk about what it's like being grown women in our 20s who collect dolls and spend the majority of our disposable income on dolls, and some of the, I won't say backlash, but like some of the outside world's comments about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, one big thing is, you know, growing up, I mean, like, I started collecting as a child, so for me it was a really good evolution into being an adult and collecting. I know some people start as an adult being a collector, and I think that might be even more difficult. Again, that's just my assumption. But for me, it was easy. Like, my mom collected toys, I collect toys, I just like toys in my life. It's just a normal thing. I do hear about it sometimes through people. They're like, oh, you have a lot of toys because you have kids. And I was like, no, I'm a big kid.
Exactly.
So I guess it's something that, I mean, I don't know if you hear that a lot. I hear that all the time. Like, that's the biggest thing I hear is like when I'm in line and I'm like, I'd like to purchase it. They're like, gift receipt? And I'm like, no.
Or some of the weird looks I get if I just like go out there by myself. People look at me kind of weird. They're like, what's this guy walking around with dolls?
Yeah,
I'm sure for men it's a little more...
That's one point we have on our list.
I wouldn't say it's more probably acceptable for a woman to be in the Monster High and they find out, oh, these are for yourself. Okay. A man may have a little more like stares or something.
I feel like there's more stigma with guys, not even for just dolls, but just toy collecting in general, because it's like toys tend to be a very, social speaking, childish thing. And as a man, they're like, oh, you're masculine, you're not supposed to have tons of toys when you're, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,
But that's on the list. I will get into that later.
But, I mean, like, again, we're going to kind of rant on this, so, again, comment below about what you guys are thinking as we go through all of this. We're going to hit up a lot of points today.
Yes.
What other points do you have on there that we want to talk about?
Well, like, we feel like nowadays, like, nerdy or pop culture things are more acceptable, so probably, for collectors our age, is not as crazy as someone who's older who's been collecting, when liking cartoons and the nostalgic 90s things wasn't as popular. I think people nowadays kind of turn the other way, but just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, with them coming out more pop culture conventions and all like, kinds, just stuff like that, comic conventions.
It's more, comic books and everything.
Like nerd culture, I think, is now being absorbed into normal culture.
Exactly, so it's not, but then there comes a point when you're like, oh, I like Monster High dolls. Oh, I have 250 dolls. There's a line that some people are just like,
And see, that goes into then the whole, one of our other points is like the financial aspect of it. I brought up, I think, in one of the other videos where I was like, oh, when you're a kid, you're like, I can't buy this because my mom won't let me or my dad won't let me or whatever. And me now as an adult, I'm like, I have money. I can buy things. And then I go out and I buy everything. So
and then your power gets turned off.
That has not happened yet to me. Okay. But, I mean, there is that whole thing like, oh, you're an adult, you should be more responsible with your money. Well, what's the difference between me buying a doll and someone buying a fancy handbag or
whatever else people
golf clubs that a guy goes out and buys? I don't know, whatever the guy thing buys. Like things like that. So
Golf
it's like
crazy.
There's
a lot of people we know that are our age who are responsible adults. We're not saying they're alcoholics, but they go out and their thing is to, on the weekends, they drink and hang out and whatever.
And party,
you can buy a doll for sometimes the cost of a beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't drink, we're old enough, but we don't drink, we don't do that stuff, so our leisure is buying toys and dolls.
Yeah. Instead of going, it's like, I go to the toy store, not to the club. Like,
we're at Walmart at 2 a.m.
Everyone's like, wow, you guys had a wild night. I'm like, I was toy hunting in the middle of the night. That's me.
We went to 6 Walmarts.
But like I said, but you also have to be responsible.
Exactly. Like when I first started collecting, I will say I may went overboard. Luckily, I live with my husband, so he could, but, I really had to train myself to be like, I can only spend this much money. Yes, I make my own money, but like I said, the power wants their money.
Yeah, so you have to find that medium as growing up and being able to basically, have your normal adult life and then also have your collecting life. So I feel like everything is balanced. And that's with anything, not just with toy collecting, that's with any hobby, whether it's in sports or anything else. But
everything in moderation. This is moderation.
For me.
As long as, like, Elvira lives in a house she pays for, she eats,
Sometimes.
she had a car, everything gets paid. Same with me, everything is paid. So therefore we have the ability to buy dolls. Now do we still go overboard? Yes, but...
Yeah, that's only once in a while. What other points do we have on here that
well, what's it like being, luckily we are both very fortunate to have, people in our lives like each other and my husband and Chase who all support this. They all, and our moms collect. They think it's the best thing ever. I got my mom so many dolls for Christmas. She was like, I feel like the kid here. I'm like, so it's like they all support it, but I know there's some friends who they don't need, you know what I mean? Like, they'll buy them a doll for their birthday because that's what they asked for, but they don't get it. But, that's okay. Maybe that's not their thing. But as long as you have someone in your life who accepts it.
Yeah, I think, like, a positive, like, team around it where, again, like, they tell you no when you need to hear no about buying stuff. But also, it's like, it's okay if you want to buy a toy because, yeah, you might be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and etc., but you still have someone going, oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, whatever you're into, it's fine. I can tell you the story. I work at a restaurant. There was a little girl dressed full Dracula, had a handful of dolls. Christmas Day. So, of course, I go over to her and talk to her. Turns out, in front of her mom, I'm like, I got this doll for Christmas, too. Her mom's just like, I'm like, I'm just a big kid, like the mom just didn't get it.
And that's one point that we didn't put on our list, though, too. I do get weird looks from parents, more probably than the kid. The kids think it awesome. They're awesome.
Yeah,
like,
you get it.
When I do different toy sales or different things, or even at the store, I get a lot of kids who are like, oh, like I see them looking at me and I'm like, ah, cool. And the parents are like, why are you talking to my child about toys? Because I like toys, and I'm sorry that you don't get into it as much as your kids do. But
which is fine.
Yeah, it's fine. And again, like there always has to be that medium. Like I don't go up to kids and start talking to them about toys, but like in the restaurant or really even when I'm at work and some of my other jobs, like kids will ask me about it. And, so I feel like there needs to be that other line. Like I feel like parents need to learn to accept that there are adult collectors, and if your kid ends up growing up and being an adult collector, that it's okay. That it's not something seen as like, oh, my kid doesn't want to grow up. You can grow up and still collect something, whether it's stamps or toys.
On that point, was there ever an age where you're like, I'm going to outgrow this. I'm not going to like this? Because for me, I went through a phase where I won't say I outgrew or I didn't care. It just was not like as important to me. But there was always something there. There was a Sailor Moon thing there. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's always there. But then one day I just went back and was like, I need everything. So did you ever have like an age where you're like,
Well, when I went crazy with my handbags, I slowed down on my. I remember the Betsy Johnson.
Yes.
I'm a big Betsy Johnson fan, and I remember that taking over my life. And then after the handbags fizzled out, I bought dolls again. But I still buy handbags. Yeah, full circle. Comes right back around. So yeah, I'm always like finding different hobbies. I'm really into like we're both into scrapbooking and planning. And for a while, we bought a lot of stickers and things like that. There.
Yeah, we kind of live that staple.
Yeah, but we still do. But now we just kind of blend it.
Yeah, everything in balance. And
what else do we have on here that we felt like we needed to reach?
Do you ever foresee yourself outgrowing this or not wanting to do this anymore?
I mean, I don't want to ever say never, because one day I'll probably wake up and go, oh, I don't feel like buying a doll today. That day has not come in my life yet,
maybe
but...
not so much you don't buy anymore, but do you ever see, like, I'm sick of this. I want this gone.
I feel like, I don't want to say never. I feel like there's always something new to come out and collect. Like, I thought I would always buy a million Sailor Moon dolls, and then Monster High came in my life, and then Sailor Moon took a backseat to buy more Monster High dolls. So I feel like I'll always be collecting something.
And I don't know what it is, the opposite, whereas I was going crazy on Monster High dolls, but as soon as they started releasing more Sailor Moon stuff, I was like, alright, I'm going to be more selective with my Monster High dolls and...
More Sailor Moon stuff.
Sailor Moon stuff.
See, that's another problem. Like, Monster High dolls are affordable to me, so I go nuts.
Absolutely.
And I think we should ask Chase one question, because I feel bad we left all the male collectors in the background. Do you feel like you will ever stop collecting?
I mean, I didn't collect for a very long time. Not really until I started hanging out with the two of you. So for me, collecting wasn't really a thing. I was kind of a minimalist. Like my apartment, I had an apartment I lived for like over a year, and the only thing in my room was a bed, my computer, my TV, a chair, and...
So every guy when he's 21.
So pretty much it took me, when I moved out of my apartment, it took me an hour.
You're done. You just had
it literally just took me an hour to...
Took 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's still not done.
I'm still not done.
It has boxes.
But, I mean, I still would think of myself as collecting something, especially because I like things that are small, so now I have, I've seen the light with, like, the Gundam Converge and the Assault Kingdoms and, like, standards,
Lego toys, like.
It's things I like, but they're small, so I can like keep them in a smaller area.
See, that's good. See, space-wise, like
It's not like if I collected.
that,
I don't have Monster High dolls, so I don't need like 15 cabinets in my room. So.
Well, that's another thing. Like if you walked into my house, yes, I have a designated kitchen corner for my collection, but there's also like little figures and
her husband's just as bad as she is.
My husband's
No,
her room.
Her husband is.
We need to get Robin
10
a
times
whole
worse.
room.
Yes, I need a toy room too. I have a corner.
Like this video for Robin getting a toy room.
Yes, I'm tradition. Anyway, if you go to my house, it probably doesn't look like a normal married couple's house that are our age. Like there are a Superman, Batman poster on the wall, like posters, not even framed, like and
there's an Attack on Titan wall scroll in the middle of our hallway.
Exactly.
No, but see, this is one thing. Like I'll jump in as my this is gonna be me sounding as an adult. If you walk into my living room and kitchen and all of that, I have no toys except for the one little stand, which I might eventually bring into here. I personally like the separation. I like being able to hang out in my toy room and then go to the living room and not have a single toy in there. So I like having that break away, having like, not say two lives, but being able to step away, because sometimes it is overwhelming. I do get overwhelmed.
I'm not saying my whole house is like that, but there's like
little pieces,
pop figures or whatever. There's stuff there that it's like, okay, this is a fun person's house.
I had one of our dancing Groos around the house in random places throughout the week.
It was in one spot the whole week. But then I moved it in here because I was like, it literally bothered me. I was like, no, I want to have that separation. So, I mean, that's one thing too. People are like, oh, your house must be covered with it. I'm like, no, I have a whole room, which is bigger than my bedroom, is the toy room. So I do have that going on.
Same, my husband's toy room is bigger than our bedroom.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
I'm proud of that.
And I have a kitchen.
But yeah, like definitely comment below, you guys. We're going to start wrapping up this video. We don't get too long. It's probably already super long. But as always, make sure to check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're always posting things on there. And we're more than happy to have you guys join our doll circle. So definitely subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And comment. Do you want more of these talking videos? I like talking with Robin because Robin
we would be doing this anyway.
Yeah, we do this anyway, so we just like to film it and share it with you guys. So, like I said, comment. What do you guys have any trouble, if you're adult collectors out there, even if you're child collectors, if you guys are like, 10, 12, 13, 14.
Are you feeling the pressure of having to give it up soon, or
don't.
Do you feel like you're supposed to and don't want to?
Yeah, I feel like don't, if you like something, go for it. So, that's going to be our thing.
And if you have any other topics you want us to cover in doll chat,
that's a great idea. Actually, comment below, let us know if there's a topic. If there's a topic that we feel, should be addressed, we will do it on another episode of us chatting. Bye, guys.